types of things are happening over in Baltimore, where we know that kids can't read, they can't do math, and now their employees, we're finding out statistics about how the employees are basically ripping off the taxpayers because of it.
Baltimore is like so many of these big urban cities. They are run by liberals, oftentimes in southern states. They're run by African Americans, as you see. It's been the case in Baltimore for a long time. You know, the fact is that we've reached the point as a culture where to point out failure, if that failure comes from progressives, is racism. It's another way to phrase this. And are we surprised? Are we really surprised that Baltimore can't educate its kids? Like all big cities, the numbers, they'd love to get to 36% proficiency. 36% proficiency in math and reading in Baltimore would be double where they are now, more or less.
Yeah, we've reported on this many different times, all the chaos that has happened, whether it be violence against teachers from students we reported on, but specifically Alex Newman, and you talked about their NAP scores and what's happening. And back in 2017, that's the most recent data, Alex Newman did the data, and they have something called Project Baltimore. And they found that 13 schools within Baltimore didn't have a single, not one, student proficient in math. Not one. Of 13 of the 39 schools. So 1/3 of them couldn't produce one single kid who's proficient in math, and another 6 of those schools had 1%.
1%. These are primarily, oftentimes, black and minority kids. You've got black and minority politicians. You've got liberals destroying the future for these children under their care. And their only response to any criticism is you're a bigot. This is the same organization. They actually hired D. Ray McKesson. Remember him? Yeah. He has no qualifications other than being a Black Lives agitator, simply by being at the front and center of these Black Lives Matter protests, which are themselves full of crap.
Oh, yeah.
Right? On that alone, he was hired as a human capital officer.
The chief one.
A chief human capital officer in Baltimore schools, making, in 2017, $165,000+ a year. And all he did was continue his Black Lives Matter social media work and dumped it into the schools. In other words, again, Oregon, remember, we're on the other side of the country now. What did McKesson do for all that money? He didn't make your kids read better in Baltimore. He didn't improve the conditions of the school. He just, Black Lives Matter, politicized those kids.
Well, and then shortly after he got hired, he went to a protest, got himself arrested in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and he defended himself in front of the school board, but then he had to resign eventually. And after his 1 year of being there, he described it as being an incredible experience. It was an incredible experience for him to be in Baltimore, tumbling down the schools even further.
And explain to me, I think the public schools, outside of politics, the public schools are the only place in America where you can repeatedly fail and demand and get more money.
And you may say, well, absolutely, because teachers don't make enough money. They never make enough money. The average teacher is making $58,000+. I'll take that.
I can tell you.
I will take that right now.
I can tell you, in my English department, we're full of professors with PhDs. That's more than most professors in my department, again, with 12 and 13 years of graduate school, make. In the same way, you can't criticize Elijah Cummings, who's the longest-serving politician in Baltimore. He's not responsible for any of this. The Baltimore mayor, the Baltimore school superintendent, D. Ray McKesson, none of these people are responsible. This is, you know whose fault this is? This is white privilege.